Okie dokie. In here for the solution for this exercise where we want to model a person with maybe an address and a house. Basically, we're trying to model the real world with code. So I've got this package com.amigos code, and the first thing I want to do is to create a new person class. So let's just say person. Let's for now just say that this person has a name, so string name. And let's also say that private and then age. So this will be an integer. And let's say that the person has an address. So the address here could be a string in here, right? So string address, or it could actually be the address class. So here, let's just say that this is the address. And now the benefit of doing this is that we can have more than one field for the address. So string, and then maybe we want first line, and then we want also, let's just duplicate this a couple of times. We want postcode. There we go. And maybe country, something like that. So now I can go back to person, and instead of string, I can say that this is address in here. So the same with house, right? So maybe this person has a house, or the house belongs to an address, and you can model that, right? So you could actually model that. And the same you could say, so if a person, for example, lives in a house, the house has a list of people, for example, inside of the house, right? So you could model that with an array. But for now, let's just say that this person also has cars, for example. So here, private, and I could say string and then cars, right? But this doesn't scale for us because here we're trying to model things in the real world. Well, a car, really, we can have a class of type car. So here I can say car, and you know that the car has many fields. So private, and then string, and then brand, for example, and private, and then big, decimal, and then price, for example, just like that. Now the person can have, instead of a string of cars, an array of cars. So car, just like that, and then square brackets, and here this will be cars. So you can see how we actually have not just strings and then primitives, but we also have our own classes. So now we are modeling, a person in the real world. You would program, you can do literally anything you want. So here we are modeling a person, but you could model other things in code as classes, and then combine those classes together. As you'll see when we start to organize our code together and you start to learn about different types of classes, such as DAOs, service classes, and then how everything ties together. But this is the idea. Now, obviously, you could, add more things in here, but for now, let's just have the constructors in here for everything. So you've seen this. Let's also have the getters and setters. So getters and setters, bingo. And let's also have the equals. And I think, yeah, so the second one, there we go. And finally, we want toString, the second one. So via wizard, okay, job done. We have to do the same for car. So this will be easy. Then let's also generate the getters and setters. And at the very end, so basically we do the same thing. So here, public toString via the wizard, and also the equals and hash code. There we go. And you'll see that this is basically boilerplate code. And I'll teach you later about the record classes that allows us to basically eliminate all of this. But we actually have to add one more field in here, but I'll teach you about it later. So let's now focus on person, or actually, sorry, address. So this will also be, oops, not like that, but constructor. And we have the constructor there, getters and setters. So just like that. Scroll down, equals and hash code, and finally to string. Okie dokie. Now let's have our main class, and then here this will be main, and within main let's just say main, and here let's create a person. Well, we need a person, and let's just say Alex equals to new person. Now Alex needs a name, so let's just say Alex needs age, so I'm going to say 22. It also needs an address and a list of cars, so let's just get those before we create Alex. So we need address equals to new address, and inside of the address we have to pass the first line. Let's just say full bar street. The postcode will be I don't know, maybe NE33. This is just a random postcode, and then the country, let's just say England. Okie dokie. Now let's have a car. So car equals to new car, and the brand could actually be an enum. So here let's just say car brand, and then this will be an enum, and let's just have Tesla, for example, Tesla, and we could also have BMW and all the other brands. Now obviously if I want to change from a string to a enum, I need to change this to car brand. There we go, car brand. The same here, there we go, and the same here, the same here, and I think this should do it. Right, so if I go back to main, now the car brand, so I can say Tesla, so here car brand.tesla, comma, and then the price, let's just say big or new big decimal, and this is really expensive. So I think in the UK it's about £65,000, just like that. And there we go. Cool. So now we have the address, the car, and we can pass the address in here. The same with car. And what's the car that we had? Oh, list of cars, right? So we actually need a new array. So here let's just say car, and then cars equals to, and let's just call this Tesla, and we're going to pass Tesla inside. And if you want to pass more than one car, you could just add it here, and in here we could just say cars. So you can see how this is coming together, right? So obviously here I'm just giving you an example with address, car, and person, but you can basically go further and basically model even complex. So maybe a person has a phone as well, right? You could also include that. Maybe a person has a degree, you could also include that. Family members, basically literally anything that you want, you can model through code, and you can see it's not that difficult. Cool. So now let's just basically print, so south and then Alex, and let's just run this, right click, run, and have a look. So person, Alex, age 22, the address, and it has one car. Cool. If you have any questions for this exercise, please do let me know. I will give you access to this exact same code that I have in here so that you can experiment with it, and yeah, you can do anything you want. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Catch me on the next one.